Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here. Good to see you. It is Tuesday. It's the 1st of June already. We are almost halfway through the entire year. That's crazy. Hey, if you're new here, welcome. I do these lives each day to help you guys start, run, and grow online businesses. And today I'm going to be talking about why people fail, because some people fail at this. Matter of fact, most people fail. And I'm going to share with you why they fail. Looking forward to this, Richard Brown says. Well, thank you, Richard. I appreciate it, buddy. I've got a list of things that I've made that what I've seen over the year causes people to fail, and I don't want you guys to fall in that category. So I put this list together. I think it's a great idea, really, just to take notes on this if you can. Let's see. Join the 61 Clib today. 61 Clib. What is the 61 Clib? Club! Club, okay. What's going on, James? Good morning, JR74 and Sunny. Oh yeah, I hit the like button first thing. Oh yes, he always reminds me. Do me a favor and hit that like button, guys. Do me a favor, subscribe if you would. We're well over 5,000 now. I think it was like 5,020 people this morning. So it keeps growing, and I really appreciate you guys doing that for me. You've subscribed, and do me a favor, ring the bell. Ring that bell, turn on all bell notifications. That way you're notified each and every time I go live. Join the 61 Club. Did you turn 61 today, Richard? Did you do that? I did that last September. So I got 62 coming up in this September. So yeah, we're in that old guys club, right? I don't feel old. I don't know. I work out, do my stuff every day. I don't know. I feel fine. Nothing wrong with me. Doing good. So today I am going to talk about things that causes people to fail. However, if you've got a question, anything about starting, running, and growing online businesses, I want you to feel free to put that in the chat box and ask me any questions you want, because I really am here to help you. I mean, that's what this channel is all about. It's just helping people grow their business. I have another channel that's going to be starting in probably a month and a half, 2 months. It's going to be a cooking channel. I like to cook, and I was like, you know what? I ought to do a channel for that too. So if you're into that, I'll let you know about it. I'm still kind of toying around with the name of it. I cook all kinds of different stuff, from Chinese to Mexican to Italian to American to barbecue. So I have no idea what direction I'm going to go with that, but I'm going to go some direction with it. Maybe it'll be how to do this stuff economically, because we all want to do that. And I cooked some ribs yesterday, and I'm not to get off subject, which I already am, but I had so much. I mean, it's like I bought this big slab of ribs, and I've got like 5 more meals left off this one slab because it was so huge. But anyhow, it was kind of cool, and I could show you the process for doing that. That way you don't have to go out to the restaurants and pay 20 some odd dollars for a tiny little rack of ribs. I think this whole thing cost me like 15, 16 bucks, and literally it would feed 5 people. It was huge. So it was very inexpensive. So maybe I'll go to that route. But I do want to talk about why people fail today. I started my business. Well, I've owned a couple businesses, in all fairness, but I started my online business in 2009. And from my experience, a lot of people think, well, the reason people fail is they don't have any time, and they don't have money, they don't have resources. That's not the case. From my experience, the reason people fail is that they aren't successful, in business, not because they don't have resources, but because of lack of resourcefulness. The lack of resourcefulness is the killer, okay? Your psychology, your mindset is going to determine your success more than anything else, okay? That's what's really going to determine it. I've worked with a lot of people over the years, and a lot of them have gone on to make millions of dollars. Others have made thousands of dollars, okay? A lot of them have been able to quit their jobs and have freedom. But the deciding factor was how resourceful were they. I get upset when people fail, because I work really hard to help people, and I don't like when they fail. So I had to start kind of looking at, why did some of these people fail? Why wasn't everybody successful? Now, I'm not your common online trainer, and I'm not saying everybody that does my stuff is going to be successful. That's not true, because I don't know what you're going to do with it. I don't know if you're going to work. I don't know if you're going to put in the time it takes. I don't know if you're going to put in the effort. I don't know if you're going to get discouraged. I don't know any of these things. If you can overcome these 13 things I'm going to give you today, you probably will be very successful. Okay? So as I go through them, I want you to kind of look at them and say, are these things affecting me? Let's see. Richard Brown, chimichurri sauce ready for my barbecue. Ooh, I love chimichurri. I love me some chimichurri. Oh, the garlic and the oil and everything. But anyhow, I want to make a difference for you guys. And you know, I was working this weekend and I was thinking about that. I was working not because I had to. I mean, I've got enough money in the bank, you know, to pay for my new house, you know, to pay my bills, you know, for years to come. But the thing is, I enjoy doing it. I like doing it. Okay. And working online, you can decide, do you want to make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures? You know, I've made some really good money online over the years. And when I started out, I didn't know anything. I mean, I'm no different than anybody else. I didn't know what I was doing. I had this desire to do it. So what I'd like to do is kind of go through, you know, and it is an 80-20 rule thing. Guys, I want you to think about this. 80% of the stuff you do is not going to work out, okay? And I think the first thing that kills people, let's see, Richard Brown says, if you succeed, that's down to you. If you fail, that's down to you too. Yeah, people don't want to look at that though. They don't want to go, you know, I failed on selling stuff on eBay, or I failed at selling stuff on Amazon, or I failed at my drop shipping business. They want to say drop shipping doesn't work. They want to say eBay doesn't work. They want to say Amazon doesn't work. When in fact, there's people making money on all those things right now. Okay, so the first thing I'll tell you is people who fail don't have confidence in themselves and they lack belief. Okay, they don't have confidence in themselves and they lack belief. I think that is the number one reason out of all of them. You know, I'm giving you number one first, is if you don't have that, you don't have that confidence in yourself. And here's the kind of confidence I had. When I was looking at selling online, I didn't know anything about selling online. I didn't know what to sell. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't even have a product. But I looked around and I saw there were other people making money online and they didn't look that much different from me. Okay? They looked like a human being. You know, they were all races, they were all ages, they were all different sexes, and it didn't matter. And I was like, well, if they can do it, I mean, they didn't look like geniuses or anything to me. They just looked like people who had figured out things to do. And I figured if I could just figure out the things to do, I would probably be okay. And there's like so many directions you can go. People just like, what should I do to make money online? I'm like, God knows. I don't know. There's like a million things. You could write a book. You could do drop shipping. You know, you could do coaching. You could, you know, build websites. There's so many things you can do. What do you like doing? What do you like doing? What is it you want to do? So when you think about it, first off, is have the confidence. Look at other people around you and go, they're doing it. They're doing it. Okay, don't say things don't work. Okay, that's not true. It's never true. Things do work. Things work really well, and if they're working for other people, they should work for you. The number two thing I think I see is lack of patience. People want it right now, and it's because of the society that the world has created now where it's this instant success. It's not instant success. And it's funny, you know, I've been to concerts before. I was at this one concert and these two guys, you know, have this group and they're really, really popular. They're hugely popular. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're a breakout group. They've done really well. And the guy got up on stage and he was like, you know what? I've been doing this for 15 years. We went to nightclubs where there were more employees there than there were people watching us. We've worked clubs in a van driving across country where we would have 2 or 3 people there. 2 or 3 people they were performing in front of. Now this particular night they were sold out. It was packed wall to wall. And they were like, don't let this fool you. This is not how we started. Guys, you got to be patient. You got to trust the process. I don't know anybody who just invests in a training or starts a business and then all of a sudden it's like they're a super success. I don't know anybody like that. It doesn't happen that way. Most people will fail. Most people go through setbacks and adversity along the way. But because they're focused on the long term, they're patient. They're like, I'll get there. I'll get there. You know, when I started my YouTube channel, I didn't have any subscribers, and then I had 500, then I had 1,000. We just broke 5,000, and I don't care. I mean, I want to. I don't mean I don't care about subscribers. What I mean is I don't care that I don't have as many as I should have, because I'll get there. I mean, I know I'll get there. I just know I will. I know I will because I'll just keep going. And if I keep putting up a video every day, if I keep helping you guys every day, and I keep growing my audience every day, I'll get there. That's how you got to think. You can't say, well, I want it right now. You know, I did 5 videos or I did 10 videos and they didn't work out. Well, did you try to improve your videos? Did you do 20? Did you do 100? I mean, I would say on YouTube, if you're trying to do a YouTube channel, you're going to have 200 or 300 videos to really get going. Is it true that some people do 50 videos and it takes off? Sure. Probably not for you though, because it doesn't work that way. Okay, so that's the next part. By the way, Goya isn't a Spanish painter. No, Goya is a manufacturer, right? For sure. Yes, James, need to take action. James Breen says Goya. Let's see, MBWA, of course, management by walking around. I knew that one from all my management days. Let me go ahead and get another sip here. Number 3 is a big one. They're lazy. That's it. They're lazy. You know, I talked to a lot of people and they're telling me, you know, things didn't work out, and I asked them what they did, and I'm like, you haven't put in enough work. You haven't worked hard enough. You haven't done enough. They're not fully committing themselves to put in the work that's required to create success they want. It takes a lot of work. Success is not easy. You know, it's a very lonely road. There's a lot of work to do. That's why a lot of people don't achieve success, because they're just not willing to put in the work. You have to want it so bad that doing the work is just something you understand you do. Okay, today I went and I worked out yesterday. My wife couldn't because she was doing a video and she was painting and all that. But she'll be back today. And we both know we got to put in the work. You know, we're not going to, you know, I'm not going to look like Mr. Atlas, okay, if I don't put in the work. And I'll probably never look like that. That's not the point. But the point is I've got to just put in the work, and I'm not going to see results immediately. You know, I've been working out off and on my entire life. So is my son. He's actually a bodybuilder and going into competition. But that just takes work. And, you know, you can go into that gym for 2 months straight and hardly see anything at all. And then one day you see a little incremental increase. That's how it is. That's how it is online. It takes a lot of work. I've created a lot of success, and I'm living a life that I want at this point, okay? But I want to create more. I want to make more of an impact. I want to do more. You know, we're all set for our house in Texas, and the money's all lined up and all that stuff's all good. But I'm doing a big promotion today. It started today. It'll go off at 10 a.m. I've been working on the promotion for 3 weeks. 3 weeks because I want more, okay? So you've got to do that. You've got to put in the effort. And a lot of days aren't glamorous. We'll eat a sandwich at the house because, we have so much work to do. You know, we don't get dressed up every day. You know, I do these live things here with a t-shirt or whatever. But the thing is, it's not a glamorous life either. You know, you're going to think, well, you know, once you're this big online marketer, then you're going to make tons of money and you have all these people working for you. I don't want a lot of people working for me. I don't want that. Why would you want that? Now you got to manage them. I do have people working for me because it's necessary. But it's a matter of me having to work. You can't assign it. I see so many people say, well, I'm going to start an online business and I'm going to hire somebody to do the website, and I'm going to hire somebody to do the SEO, and I'm going to hire somebody to find me some products, and I'm going to hire somebody to run this thing for me, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the money. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in a restaurant. It doesn't work that way in a hair salon. It doesn't work that way online. It doesn't work that way. You can't hire yourself into success. All these people that you hire are going to way overcharge you probably. And if not, you know, they're still not going to know how to run a business. You ultimately have to do it. You ultimately have to put in the time. Okay, number 4, and that kind of, since I was talking to employees, it kind of brings me to this. New people try to do everything themselves. New people try to do everything themselves. This is the next reason people fail, and this is a big one. They try things on their own, and doing things on your own is just kind of stupid, okay? If you say, well, I want to make money online, but I don't want to pay for one of JR's courses, or I don't want to pay for Joe Blow's courses, that's just dumb. That's just dumb for you to try to figure it out on your own. If I have figured out how to do something, and I'm willing to tell you for a fee, you know, hey, take my course. You want to learn Facebook ads? Take my course on this. You want to learn emails? Take my course on this. You know, you want to learn survival? I have a course on that. Take my course on this. Why would you go and try to figure out everything that's taken me years to figure out on your own? Why would you do that? You're like, well, I don't want to spend any money on it. Well, that's just dumb. You can't do it on your own. You can't. I have bought a lot of courses. I spent $10,000 recently for a course on YouTube ads. 10 grand, okay? And I've been doing this for over 10 years. I'm still buying education. I still read books. I still learn stuff. I watch people's videos. I learn stuff every day. That's another thing you got to do. Give me another sip here. Let's see, JR, you have the slight edge. It's mirrored in Jeff Olson's The Slight Edge. Incremental advances over time. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I don't expect big things every day. I've had a lot of big things, but it's because of this little bit of work I'm doing constantly. Tony Robbins says beliefs and modeling are important, 100%. And that's one of the steps I'm going to talk about in just a second. And that is, I'm still going through this. No, number 5, I've got something else. Number 5 is having unbelievable, unrealistic expectations. Unbelievable, unrealistic expectations. Another reason people fail a lot is they have this crazy, unrealistic expectations. This kind of goes back to number 2 when I mentioned, and number 3, lacking patience. People get caught up in this short-term thinking mentality because that's kind of how our world is nowadays. They want to get rich quick, okay? And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Have some people done that? Yes. And some people pull the slot handle at Vegas and they win $1 million. But the odds of you doing that are not good. You could pull that slot handle 1,000,000 times and probably still not win $1 million. The result is that, I'm just going to start a business or whatever, and I'm going to make millions of dollars. I'm going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars instantly. It's not going to happen, guys. If it was that easy, everybody would be rich and successful. Think about it. Everybody would be. It's not easy. Oftentimes, I've done videos on this where I'll recommend that people's first goal is to make $1, $1. But now I was lucky. When I first started, I made $10. $10. I got a $10 sale. I didn't make a profit. I made a $10 sale though, and I was so excited. I ran in the living room. I was a single dad. My kids were little at the time, and I said, "Hey, I made $10." And I didn't exactly say that. I said, "Hey, I sold something online," and they were like, "Oh my God, that's great." They were like, "How much did you sell?" I said, $10. And they looked at each other like I was insane. They were like, $10, Dad, that's not a lot of money. I mean, that's like our allowance. But the point was I was able to make $10. And if I could make $10, I could do that again and again and again, and I could increase that amount. And that's what ultimately happened. Understanding that you've got to have realistic expectations if you're brand new. If you're a newbie to something, you can't expect the results of somebody that's more experienced than you. Now, the only way you're going to get better results is maybe listen to somebody who's done it. I have training, so I train people how to do that stuff. Someone that's maybe already been in the business of building a business online. Somebody who has a background or more experience with computers or technology, which I do now, but I didn't before. So that's kind of cool. What's most important is you have to have realistic goals for yourself. So to make $1 or $10 or something like that, that's a good goal. That's good if you can do that. That's really good. All right, so there's no program, there's no business that you can just invest in where you don't have to do any work. Stop that way of thinking. Stop that way of thinking. Next thing, number 6 is the big one. People don't want to invest any money. They don't want to invest any money. They go like, I want to make money online, but I don't want to spend anything. I want to do it without any money. One of my most viewed videos is how to make money online with no investment. And it's funny because I tell them in the video, you do have to invest. You do have to spend money. Let's see here. I have my first dollar framed on my office wall. Good for you, Richard. I couldn't because mine was online, but whatever. It was online. Copy them. Yes, copy those people. Do that. Another reason, I'm going to move through this a little bit faster because, I've got so many things to say today, and I'm really, really on this today. But people are looking to cut corners. They're afraid to invest here or there. They're afraid to buy a course or read a book. Spend the money. Spend some money. I mean, if you went out and started a restaurant, what would that cost you? You've got no guarantees of being successful. As a matter of fact, most restaurants fail. Most do, as do most people online. But the difference is in restaurants, you have to invest in equipment and stuff. You've got to put some money into it. Online, you can get started pretty cheap, but invest in the training. Learn how to do these things, guys. Especially from somebody who knows what they're doing. Buy their training, figure out what they did. Just do the same thing. In a restaurant, you're going to have to spend maybe $100,000 or $50,000 and take out loans. Okay, you don't have to do that online. You can buy some courses for $500 or $1,000, and they can really help you along. Number 7, they try to cut corners and find loopholes. That's the next thing. While they're doing this, they're actually hurting themselves because they're not learning things. It's not going to last. If you look at long-term sustainable strategies, not the short-term loopholes, people are always obsessed with that. They're looking to get rich quick. They're looking for hacks. They're looking for things like that. For me, it's a lot of short-term loopholes in my business. There are short-term loopholes, like you can rank your YouTube videos. I work on that. You can attract more people to the search engines. You can make more money. But you know, that's short term. Okay, like I said, it's going to do more things for you if you do it right. Okay, and if you don't look for these hacks. I don't want to cheat the system. Okay, I don't want to try to beat the YouTube hack. You know, I try to, or YouTube algorithm, or hack it. I look at what YouTube wants. What do they want? They want quality content. They want a video that's over 8 minutes long. They want you to put your tags in there so they can help people find your videos. They want to have a title that actually matches the video. If you do all these things over time, you'll do okay over time, but it takes time. You know, you can't hack it. Number 8, this is a great one. They learn from the wrong people. There are a lot of people out there that are teaching you how to make money online, or so they say they are. Let me see a comment here. They want an out before they're in. Yes, they do. They do. But this one here, number 8, we're learning from the wrong people. Oh my God, I see this all the time. A lot of people that I work with, they invest in my training, and I'm trying to help them create success, and then they're learning from somebody else that, you know, is telling them that they're going to get rich quick. I've created a lot of success. I've done very well in this. And I built several businesses, success in several businesses. And I've made millions of dollars right now. Millions. It's kind of crazy, right? I mean, I remember thinking when I was a kid, $1 million. Well, you know, you were living in a palace and you had, you know, all these Rolls Royce limousines and all that. $1 million ain't much money. But we've done multiple millions of dollars. And I've done it because I've learned from the right people. And sometimes it would be an 18-year-old who was telling me something about my website. Sometimes it would be a 45-year-old. But you got to learn from people who really have done this and are still doing it. And that's the key. There's so many people out there, let's say, sell a course on drop shipping, and they don't drop ship anymore. They just sell courses. Well, how are you going to stay on top of it? How are you going to know what you're doing? And I don't know that you really even know that much. Why'd you quit doing it? You're going to make more money on drop shipping than you're going to make selling courses. Why'd you quit? Something's wrong with that. Make sure you learn from people who are still doing the same thing. I sell products online every day. I'm doing it today. I have a promotion going out today. So if you want to learn how to sell products, I think I'm a decent person to learn from. Again, that comes with the downside of not trusting the process. Okay, you're looking for the quick fix guy. You're looking for the guy that's shooting dollar bills out of a gun. I've seen that, and screaming and yelling and saying, "Oh my God, you're going to get rich." That person you need to run from. You really do, because that's not realistic. That's not real life. That's going to make you feel good for a minute, and then when you buy his $1,000 course, you're going to find out that you're selling his stuff. And I know several people that do that. The next thing is number 9. Don't listen to advice from successful people. People forget, and they don't listen to advice from successful people. That's what you got to do. They don't listen to successful people because the successful people, the people that really know it, aren't telling them what they want to hear. They're telling them they got to work, right? This is where people save their ego. They're closed-minded. They're too proud. They think they know it all. They think they don't have to listen to anybody. I don't care if somebody's 25 years old. If they're successful in doing something I want to do, I'm going to listen to them. And so should you. This is another important reason that people fail. I've worked with people, coached them, and I'm trying to help them, but they're arguing with everything I tell them to do because it's hard. And they're like, I don't want to do this hard thing. I don't want this. You can't help somebody like that if they don't have an open mind, if they're not willing to do the work I tell them to do, if they don't trust you, if they don't trust the process. And the process is hard. That's why they don't want the process. They have the experience. They've been going at it for years if they've already been doing it. Okay, they've created the results, not just with themselves, but with countless other people. That's what I've done. Okay, so it drives me nuts when somebody just won't listen. They won't listen. I see this time and time again with people, even when they invest in my training. I have certain things I say. I say, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I guide them step by step through the things they need to do. And I'm blown away by how many people that don't even listen to it. They don't watch the videos. They don't go through it. They don't do the steps, and they expect results. It's craziness. Let's see here. Yes, still doing it. So important. Very important. If they've quit doing it, there's a reason for that. They don't like when successful people are honest with them. Very true. How do we decide which course seller is worth following? Well, that's up to you. I always say Google them. Google, put their name in Google, put in their scam ripoff. We'll see what you find. Look up the people. Now, keep in mind, some people are just going to have bad things written about them because they're trolls or something like that. But I'd say also look at longevity. How long have they been online? I've been online since 2009. I've been selling successfully online since 2009. How long have they been doing it? So that's the thing. You've got to listen to these people who have already done it. Okay. That's so important. There weren't that many people for me to focus on. When I started, I had to make a lot of mistakes myself because there weren't a lot of people doing training back then. Quite honestly, training does not make me the majority of my money. The majority of my money comes from selling products. I like doing training, but just doing training, if somebody's just doing training, they don't have that many skills. I'm telling you, because there's so many other ways to make money, and training is not the biggest one. Let me get another sip here. Number 10, they're scattered. They're scattered. The next thing that causes people to fail is they're scattered. They don't focus on one thing. They get easily distracted by what I call the shiny object syndrome. So there's so many opportunities out there to build a business and to make money that oftentimes people get distracted. They're doing one thing, they're building their business, and then there's this other opportunity that comes up, and they turn and they start working on that. They jump from one business to another business to another business. And again, it comes down to people not seeing results fast enough. They want these quick results. They're not going to come quick. They're focused on the short term. They're not having the patience and focusing on the long term. But you have to focus. You got to stay focused on one thing. I tell people when you sign up for my courses and my training, unsubscribe from anybody and everybody else that's going to distract you. Because if you keep jumping out there and looking at different things, you can't focus on what I'm training you on. It's only going to do you a disservice. You don't need to be on 100 people's email list, because they're going to market and promote the different opportunities that they're trying to sell. And if you're going in all these different directions, you're not going to devote enough time to one thing. If mine isn't the thing, then find somebody else. But you've got to focus on it. You've got to focus on what you're doing. You got to say no to everything else. You've got to learn to say no and focus. Say, I am doing this thing. Okay, I'm doing this thing. I get opportunities all the time, every day. I have people that want to sponsor videos, that want me to do stuff on their products, that want me to coach them, that want me to call them. And I stay focused on what I need to do. They're sharing this business opportunity. They're like, oh my gosh, you got to check out this business opportunity on cryptocurrency. And I'm like, no, I'm busy with what I'm working on, and I need to stay focused on it. They want me to do this, do that. I got to ignore all that because I've got my own goals, things that I'm working on. This is what I've committed to. Number 11, they can't handle failure and adversity. They can't handle failure and adversity. Guys, part of success is failure. It's always been that way. It'll always be that way. That's not going to change. How do we dissort? Okay, I went to that one. My problem, scattered. My problem, to be honest. Yes. And just stop that. If you know what's your problem, just stop it. I'm saying, hey, I'm going to focus on this one thing until I get good at it. And that's what I basically did. I focused on singular things. Now I have a whole bunch of different things, but I had to make a profit at a thing once I started it. I had to make a profit at it. Once I made a profit at it, if I wanted to, veer off and look at something else, I could do that. But I had to make a profit at it. Really important to me. How about paralysis of analysis? Yes, they keep looking at stuff and keep reading stuff and keep taking courses. That's another thing. But a lot of people can't handle failure. They just can't. There's no such thing as success without failure. It doesn't exist. Everybody that is successful today has gone through failure. Everybody. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. They've gone through challenges, adversities, setbacks. Part of the process, you've got to realize, is failure. A lot of people might think, to be their first time starting a business, you never encountered failure because you've had a job, and there's just really no failure sometimes in a job. You show up every day and you're going to get paid. You have that security. You just show up 8 hours, you get paid for your time. Doesn't matter what you're doing in many cases, right? So when you have a business, you don't get paid for your time. It's not like that. You get paid based on the results that you produce. So like today, I'm sending out these emails. I think it's going to go out to about 15,000 people, something like that. And I'll share some of those results with you. But I'm going to get paid based on how well I wrote those emails, based on how well I built that sequence, based on how well I did those sales pages, those upsells, those downsells, the follow-up, the pop-ups, all the things I did. And I built the entire thing. I had zero help on it. Nobody wrote copy for me. Nobody did artwork for me. Nobody did graphics for me. And I'm 11 years into this. And people want to go out there and have other people do all this stuff for them. I'm 11 years into this, I'm still doing it. A lot of people don't have what it takes because they're so sensitive. They take failure personally. I see this personally thing now with comedy. It's like everybody's afraid to even tell a joke because they're afraid of offending somebody. I don't care. If you're a comedian, and I'm a little off track here, but if you're a comedian, you can say whatever you want. I think you have the license to say whatever you want. Are some of the things they say offensive? To me, might be. To somebody else, might be. But the point is, they have a right to say anything they want. And if the public doesn't like what they're saying, they won't listen. That's how that should be judged. People are too sensitive nowadays. Goodness gracious, you're going to have to go to the edge a little bit if you're doing comedy. And I see Joe Rogan opening a comedy club now in Austin, and I'm going to be one of the first people there because, you know what, every now and then I get offended, but I don't care. I mean, that's their job, is to be on that edge, you know. Comedians should be offensive. Comedians make money making fun of people in situations. That's what they do. That's what they do, but we're so sensitive in our societies now. It's so ridiculous. Okay, just be a good person and quit being so sensitive, okay? Let's see, Edison declared that he discovered 10,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. You know what? I don't doubt that. I've heard he's had tremendous failures. But the thing is, you don't really fail. How can you fail if you're still trying? You can't be a failure if you're still trying, right? I mean, I guess I failed at cell phone case sales because I didn't make a profit, but I learned from it and I sold other items, so was it a failure? I don't think so. There's a difference between somebody who's successful and somebody who fails. The failure lets the failures in their life define them. They say, that's what I am, I'm a failure. They get discouraged, they give up because of those failures. The successful person still fails probably just as much as the failure person does, probably even more. The difference is he or she doesn't define them as failures. He just views them as opportunities to learn and actually sees them as a good thing. Number 12. Are we doing okay on time? I'm a little bit over. I hope you'll stick with me on this. Fear of rejection. Okay, so all right, I'm back to reason 12. Why most people fail is that they care too much about what other people think of them. They have a fear of rejection. Now listen, in order for you to create success in your life and your business, there's always going to be people that disagree with you. It's going to happen. There's always going to be people that make fun of you. They are going to doubt you, that you are not going to be a success. They're going to be negative. They're going to try to hold you back from creating success, because if you're successful and they're not, what does that say about them? If you notice, once you become successful, that's not going to go away. You're deluding yourself, okay? Because the more successful you become, the more people will dislike you. There's a lot of people that will like you, yeah, and love you, but also that comes with a lot of people that will dislike you. They're jealous, they're haters. The people that are going to be negative are people who don't want you to succeed because they're not successful. They're going to try to pull you down because they feel insignificant. That's just the way it is. There's two ways to have the tallest building in town. Number one, build the tallest building in town. Number two, tear down everybody else's building, right? And we know people like that, right? They go around, they say, well, I'm going to tear down everybody else's buildings. That's the way it is. You know, I've been doing YouTube videos now for a little while, and I have people who really, really enjoy it. And then I have people who slam me. They slam my looks, they slam the way I talk, they slam the way I dress, they slam the way I edit, everything. They slam me, and I don't care. I just don't care, because if you've got time to put something negative online, that's really what your persona is. You've got time to type negative things. Okay, I don't have time to type negative things. I only have time to type positive things. That's all I got time for. Okay, I only get so much time in a day. I got to decide how I'm going to spend it. That's how I decide to spend it. And now we're down to number 13. Let me get a sip here real quick. Let's see here. It just depends on how you interpret what happens. Very, very true. Number 13, some people have limiting or negative mindsets. Limiting or negative mindsets, okay? This is another reason why a lot of people fail. They have this limiting belief or negative mindset attitude. It's very important. This kind of goes back to what I shared earlier. Low self-esteem, a negative attitude. I see people like this. They're just negative about everything. If you're always looking for what's wrong, you're going to find it. I promise you. You're going to find it. Whatever you're looking for, you're going to find it. If you're looking for positive things, you're going to find it. In every situation, there's good and there's bad. It's true. It's very true. It's all how you interpret it and the meaning you create. This goes without being said. You just can't have a negative attitude about things. You can't. You've got to be positive. And I catch myself every now and then saying something negative, and I say, hey, that's wrong. Stop that. Don't do that. There's no point in ever saying anything negative ever. There's no point. You can't sell me on talking negative and why it's going to help you. You can't sell me on that. I challenge you. Put it in the comments. Put it in the chat. You tell me why saying negative things is going to help you in life. I guarantee you it won't. So I find that if I work on that, I'm better off. Okay. If people have that attitude, they need to work on that attitude first. That's the first thing they need to do, because their mindset is going to control what's going to happen. Before they build a business, you got to work on your mindset. You got to change that stuff. If that's your attitude, your mindset is negative, then I recommend you read some books on being positive, that you start to feed your mind with some more positivity. You work on the part of yourself that's going to hold you back, because you're going to need it to be successful. You cannot be negative and be successful in life. Not going to happen. Another reason why a lot of people fail, going back to that, is limiting beliefs was part of that. And maybe you were raised that way. Maybe you got your identity and beliefs from people you hung out with, your parents. A lot of the beliefs that you have are self-sabotaging your success. If you have a belief that you want to be successful, but you have another belief that says you don't want to put your work in, or you just want short-term results, it's not going to work. See how they're conflicting there? That's what's called an inner conflict. One belief is positive, one belief is negative. They counteract each other, and they're going to pull you in two different directions. So you've got to really identify and limit your beliefs in that negative area. You got to be positive, even in the face of adversity, even when things are bad. I go back to, I saw you put in there, Think and Grow Rich, Richard. Unfortunately, he has some good stuff in the book. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but if you Google scam Napoleon Hill, you're going to find out that he ran from the law. He did a lot of scammy things, and he never really did provide any proof that he ever interviewed any of the steel magnates. He said he did, but if you Google his name, Napoleon Hill scam, you're going to find all this. He was in a lot of trouble with the law, and though a lot of the things in the book sound like good affirmations and things you should do, he as a person made up a lot of stuff. He was kind of a huckster in a way, and a lot of people don't realize that. We all quote from his book and all that, but we don't look into his background, and his background was very edgy, and what the book is based on with these interviews with these rich people is not true. It's never been proven that he interviewed anybody. So do check that out. Not saying anything bad about that, but yeah. Stop tolerating the naysayers and negative people. Yeah, you got to get away from them, even if they're family. People say, what if they're family? I said, well, just don't hang out with them as much. They can still be family, but you don't have to spend the majority of your time with them. You can't do that. So that's what I got for you today, guys. Those are the 13 things that I think really hold people back, that prevent people from being successful. If you're watching this live, or if you're watching it as a recording, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down there. That would mean so much to me. Our next goal is 10,000. I know James Breen's going to help me get there. He's going to keep reminding me, and I'm sure you will too, Richard. Remind me what we got to do. We got to get to 10,000 people. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. Peace and blessings always, everyone. See y'all tomorrow. Appreciate that, James. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate your comments. Let me know about your business. Put it in the comments section. Thanks, Mr. Hill. Yes, it's something you may want to check out. Just Google it. You'll see what I mean. There's been several articles written on it. And I hope this helps you out, guys. If this does help you out, put a comment in that chat section. If you think this is useful to you, put a comment in the comment section. If it is not live, because you will have a comment section, but you won't have the chat section. While I'm live, you won't have access to the description or the comment section. That doesn't pop up until afterwards. But I really appreciate you guys. I really do. It's really nice having you guys around. It's really nice being able to share this stuff with you. I hope it helps you out. That's the whole point of all of this. James Breen, easy does it. I like it. I like it a lot. You guys are awesome. You guys keep this thing going, and I really appreciate you very much. Thank you for being here. Hey, you know what?